think we've got the same cup, Mohamed. Mohamed, it is fabulous. Good morning. It is fabulous to have you here with us today, because everyone that's on this session, and it's being live streamed, get a double whammy. They get you and your content, and they also get the experience of one of the amazing ways to deliver, because Mohamed is a global award-winning speaker. We are so pleased to have you here. It's such an important topic, especially in relation to coaching and the way stories help people to connect and to really empathize with others. I will say no more. You are now host, and it's over to you.
Cool. Okay, so can you see my... Okay, my screen. All right. So thank you, Dr. Claire, for this opportunity. I'm a busy person. I'm a really busy person, and yet I said yes. Now, mind you, busy doesn't mean productive, does it? You know, I'd like to show how busy I am to my close ones, and also to my farther ones on Facebook, on Instagram. I show how busy my weekend is. I'm doing things with Beckett McEnroy. I'm doing things with Toastmasters here and there. Yeah, busy doesn't mean productive. Now, I'm not saying I'm not productive, by the way. Don't jump to conclusions. But what I'm saying is, well, okay, I am not that productive. You know, I still vividly remember this incident which happened a couple of years ago. You know, my wife said, Abu Ali. You know, Abu Ali means, my name is Muhammad, but Abu Ali is a name of respect, love, and tender. We call each other at home. That means the father of Ali, our eldest son. Yes, Ali. What is it? Abu Ali, we are ready to go. That is the planned outing we have to leave. And I'm like, inside of me, really? Really? When a wife says I'm ready to go, is she really ready? So I did my usual test. Okay, honey. Okay, I'm ready. My car keys with me. I am fully dressed. Ready when you're ready. You know, between brackets, that means when I see you ready. So I said to her, when I see you walking in front of me, right to the house door with your abaya, you know the abaya, this black cover that the Arab women wear, all right? So I said, when your abaya is on and I see you in front of me going to the door house, then will I believe that you are ready. And, you know, I got this opportunity. I threw myself on the couch in the hall, and I started sifting through my WhatsApp. The ladies are not ready. Ladies, because there are 2 other girls she needs to prepare, my 2 daughters. So there are 3 women getting ready. That means plenty of time for me to go on social media and check my Facebook and Instagram account, update them, etc. So I'm going WhatsApp, etc. Suddenly, somebody jumps on my shoulder. It was my youngest daughter, Fatima. So Fatima jumps on my shoulder and she sneaks into my phone. And I'm saying like, yeah. What do you want to see? She said, Dad. She's looking at my social media accounts and she says, Dad, you are so famous. Thank you, honey. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, how did you know? Dad, I just know you are so famous. I see you everywhere. Thank you. And I'm going to WhatsApp again. But this little lady had another agenda. And she threw another sentence. And I'm like, who sent you to say this? She says, Dad, you know, there are people who are famous, but also rich. Oh my God. Something is coming on the way. Fatima, what do you mean by that? And what is your dad? So, and I'm like, I'm so afraid to listen to the answer, but she gave me the answer very politely. She said, Dad, you are famous. Okay, go on. That's it. Just famous. Okay, now that's really embarrassing. So, okay, go with your sister and your mother and get ready to go. And I'm back to my phone, to my social media, to Facebook and to Instagram and to WhatsApp, following up my business, my popular posts. But I couldn't continue after this line. Actually, I removed my head off of my phone. Famous, but not rich. Famous, but not rich. And suddenly my eyes went around my small apartment, the apartment we've been there in for the past 23 years. Yeah, it was the first place that my wife and I moved into it. It's a small house, but it's more of an apartment, but it's the same apartment. My family grew to 7 members now. We have 5 children. Fatima is the youngest, and she just pointed out that you are famous, but not rich, which means also this apartment is growing smaller and my family is growing bigger. And my image is spreading everywhere. I'm becoming famous. I'm becoming an accredited speaker, award-winning speaker. So what? So what? And I look at the cracks, specifically the cracks in the walls of my house. I mean, my family around me deserve better than this. Famous, but not rich. You know, ladies and gentlemen, we are so busy. I don't know how productive we are, but we are so busy. We are so busy of extending our image everywhere, being available everywhere, showing we are busy, we are productive, we are famous. But how much of that is in the benefit of our close one? Yes, we take an occasional vacation with them. We take some time out to talk with them, have dinner with them. But how much of what we do benefits our most loved ones? We have benefited a lot across the globe. We had our messages, coaching, speaking, counseling, etc. But how much have we benefited our loved ones? Ladies and gentlemen, if you were there and you were hearing me all the time, that's it. I'm done. I told my story just now. And I want you to interact with me. I have a few questions for you. This is a true story. And I'm telling it the way it happened outside and inside. So I want you to use your digital thumb in the Zoom and tell me and answer the following questions. If this story made you in any way think about your life, think in concepts of success, concepts of, false success or false fame or whatever concept that came to you, it made you think, please give me a thumbs up. If I was audible, yeah. Okay, good. Maybe you're too slow to go to the thumbs up, but I'm imagining. If this story on a deeper level and your feeling touched you, moved you in a way, please raise your thumb. So on a emotional level, it made you feel something different. Now let's go to the toughest part. if my story made you, get ready for this, want to do something, take an action, decide to do something different, please thumbs up. And that's the most difficult part. In less than 5 minutes, I made you, with storytelling, think differently, feel differently, and probably take an action by merely telling a story. So now, tell me, what did I do in my storytelling? You can unmute, you can write in the chat, tell me, what did I do in this storytelling that made you have all that? Because we are going to decompose this into a model. But I want to hear from you, what do you think I've done as a speaker? Because all of you will speak anyway, even if you're coaches, one-on-one coaches, regardless, you will speak, you are speaking everywhere. So tell me, what have I done so that I can have a sip? Details, emotions, sequence. I like the word sequence. It's not just throwing emotions. Thank you, Samira. Put energy, yeah. Role played, use drama, made it relevant. Okay, build up the story. So building up of the story. There's a sequence to it. These two coaches, remarkable coaches, of course, they know that there's a sequence to it, the structure, of course. Okay, what if I told you I have done none of these? And all of them came naturally, organically. And you're right. The structure made it, the sequence made it, but I didn't plan any of those. In fact, I didn't put any energy. The energy just comes out of me, and it comes organically. And I delivered this speech many times to different audiences, different cultures, with my daughter wearing that hijab, and with all the specific Muslim or Arab culture, and it had the same impact everywhere. Were any one of you offended because of seeing a Muslim girl wearing hijab? Nobody thought of that. Did you? No. Anybody thought of Ali, Abu Ali? I said that it's okay. Not at all. All right. Everywhere I go, I went even to the Far East with the same story and Far West with the same story. Nothing happens. But everybody, yes, I will send your regards to her, Samira. Everybody was touched. So let me give you the model that I promised you. You are coaches most of the time, but you are also speakers and trainers. And whoever, actually, this is a model I did not invent. This is the model of life. I'm just decomposing it, putting it on the table so that you can watch it, because that is the way you live. And hence my model and my book, The Life in Your Speech. Anytime you address anyone, anywhere, if you follow these 3 steps model of storytelling, I guarantee you, you will have the same impact. So let's go through this and not delay any further. So maybe you need some pens and papers for this, because you can draw your own, even if you will be shared this material. So here we go. So what is life? Life, this is your life. As natural, as organic, as... Okay? As natural and organic as your life. This is life. But life also has things that happen to them. And when something happens, and I want you to mark exactly what I said, happens, okay? We don't want to go into terminology of public speaking. That's a different art, although life in your speech means how to organically speak, okay? So something happens, something falls in your life, and it messes up the peace and the tranquility or stability of your life. Boom. Something happens, and then it creates a ripple effect, all right? Everything that happens creates an effect. And so the first thing that happens is the XP. XP is called the experience. Learning from experience is, everybody knows that. This is experiential learning. We learned it from David Cole and so many others who, developed it, improved it, etc. But It is known since the beginning of humanity, we learn from experiences, correct? So experiences is like, I want to make it like, you know, a mother and a baby, okay? So look back again. An experience is the mother and the learning is the baby born. So you never switch them. You never start with the learning. Like in school, we learn first, then we get the test. But in life, we get the test first, experience, then we learn. So that's the organic way, actually. That's the normal way. And coaches and trainers like Samira and Dr. Claire, at least I know them, they apply the life model, which is we learn, we do things first, then we learn. We all agree on this. Experience, then the learning. So something happens in your life and then there is learning, but there is one thing's missing between. Coaches know this very well, but speakers apply it very rarely. And this is my industry, authentic life speaking, not life coaching. So what is the part missing? Anyone? Anyone? What's missing in between? Coaches, you know this. Between experience and learning, there is a layer, a very fine layer that takes place. Yeah, the chats. Okay, I'm slow to go to the chats. It's not you. Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Claire. Reflection, curiosity, all the inner struggle. You call it reflection, you call it curiosity. Actually, I decompose the layer into different mini layers in speaking, but for today, for the benefit of today, let's call it impact. It's a very general, all right? The experience has an impact on you, physical, probably, because experience can be an accident and it can have an impact on you physically. It can have an impact on you mentally. It can have an impact on you emotionally, whatever. We don't hide them. And a good coach actually makes his or her client go through the impact. He or she doesn't rush to the conclusion. He or she is not obsessed with the outcome or learning or topic. We are concerned about the person and the feelings that they go through. So that's why we take them in a journey through the impact. My question to you, do you do this for yourself? When you address people as a speaker, do you do this for yourself? It's very tough. Now, we keep saying that in our area, people are very reluctant to expose their feelings. Oh, okay. So how about you? Why don't you do that? As a speaker, as an influencer, you know, we want to influence our world. We want to make a change, but we hide the impact. I say this not about you, but I say this about the speakers I've been coaching for years. And they are keen on just telling the story and the learning behind it. So let's go further. So like a mother and a baby, there is something in between, which is the labor. So this is the mother in the middle, and at the end, there is a baby born, but in the middle, there is the delivery operation. The process of delivery, the labor, that's the hard part. It's short, but it makes all the difference. The baby will not be born if we do not care, give enough care about the laboring, the delivery of the baby. A good doctor should take care of that, actually, okay? Otherwise, the learning will not be correct. And that's what coaches do brilliantly. Now, speakers, they don't have a client in front of them. They have an audience. And when I delivered the speech about Fatima, I went through the 3 stages, and I will take you now through them, okay? So, in life, let me compare this with your speech. In life, you have an experience and you learn from the experience, okay? But in between, there is an impact. A good speaker, an inspirational speaker, an influencer speaker will use the impact. And for me, if you remember, so let me equate this in the speech spectrum. An experience is called, in the speech terminology, is called what? A story. Can you see that? I'm just covering it a bit. The impact of the experience on you in life, in a speech, we call it feelings. All right, let's call it feelings, okay? It includes, of course, reflection, struggle, all that. And the learning in a speech is called message. Did I deliver all 3 or not? I delivered them, but probably you didn't see where exactly the story ended, where did I started the feelings, where was the message. Many people will remember the story and the message. Many speakers will prepare only the story and the message because they are always reminded, tell a story and make a point, and they forget the important part, impact. You have to be daring enough to expose your feelings on the stage as a speaker. Yes, motivational speakers talk about their stories and the failure and the bad things they did in life. They were in drugs or whatever, okay? But they fail to expose the feelings. That's the part which makes you human. And when you are human, you are speaking to humans, then there are no barriers and there are no borders. So let me take you through this. So the life in your speech, that is the model and my book, but it's written but yet to be published because I'm busy, not productive, okay? So here we go. So let's take only this storytelling part because that's what our talk is about. If you can remember this page, you can do excellently in any speech, just this part. So a story is basically what happened. And when I say happened, I want everything in details. And then how did it touch me? And then what did it teach me? Now, in normal stages, like in Canada, I let the 1,600 people shout this out and not forget that this is your public speaking 101. So a story is what happened, feelings, how did it touch me, message, what did it teach me and you consequently, okay? So just bear this in mind, picture this in any way you can, and I assure you every speech you will be phenomenal. So now, final part of my presentation is this. Why does this impact us as speakers, and what is the effect when we create more bonding, equality in a very diverse and difficult time, okay? So watch this. This is the beneath. I'm taking a microscope now and taking you deep. Now, I know you hate microscope because, you know, viruses, bacteria, germs. Anyway, so when you deliver the story, what happens to your audience? Watch this. When you tell a story, your audience relate. When you expose your impact of the story, the feelings, your audience will connect. And when you deliver the message after this sequence, as Samir said, exactly following the sequence like a ripple, normal ripple effect in a pond, then the audience will commit. I don't know how many minutes left, but I have only 2 minutes to finish. 2 to 3 minutes. I'm okay, Dr. Claire? My part.
That's absolutely perfect. And I think there may be some questions as well with all this.
All right. So when you deliver the story, people will relate. Now, if you hear someone saying, I related to your speech, that's not true. They relate to stories. And someone will say, I connected with you. No, they don't connect with you fully. They connect at a specific part. And you connected with me when I exposed my feelings. When I finished the story of Fatima going away from me, and then I am alone with myself, with my feelings, I started saying, oh, and what am I famous for, etc. That was the feeling part, and you connected. That was very touching. And finally, you will commit because I exposed all this. But there's a condition for that. When you tell a story, you have to be detailed. You just cannot go in generals. So I said abaya, I said Ali, I said apartment, I said 23 years. You have to move to specifics. Otherwise, the mind cannot relate with generals, according to the book Talk Like Ted. The mind relates to specifics. If you say a car, it's too general. You have to say a black Odyssey, Honda, something like that. All right. Then the feelings should be. The feelings should be. Hello. Okay.
Hi, Claire. You can mute them from your end, Claire.
All right. So, and when you share your feelings, you need some.
You can mute them from your end. Click on their name and mute them.
Maybe I
Mira,
can.
I've just made you co-host.
Okay. All right.
Done?
Good. So feelings, you have to be daring. You cannot just brush your feelings under the rug and say general words. I was sad. What is sad to me? Mine doesn't understand the sad. Mine understands the specifics. Remember, and the final D in our 3D condition is direct. Now, if you give your story in detail, if you give your feelings in a daring way, you can be direct. You have the right to be direct. Remember Les Brown, remember Tony Robbins. They don't mess up with us at the end. They make us stand. They look us in the eyes and they challenge us. They shout at us. They give us names. Get up, you lazy. Do this. Why? But that happens only after you give the sacrifice, which is detailed story, uncensored story, and then daring feelings, because all of us humans are connected. We are connected beneath, so we should share them. And that way you will actually break the barriers and build bridges around them. So to sum up, we live our life in a way, natural, organic way. We don't control all incidents. Incidents happen and they teach us a lesson. Let us use the same and reflect them exactly in the way we address, and let us not try to imitate speakers on the stage. Let us not take them as full examples of a model speech. No, let us use the life as a model for us. And when we do that, we can touch anyone's life through these 3 steps. Tell a story, expose your feelings, and then build your message. And you will connect with anyone, wherever you come from, whoever you are, whatever the color of your skin is. And if we do this in this day, very difficult time, we actually will create a lot of bond within communities. The story of Fatima went everywhere, and everybody remembers Fatima, regardless of what she's wearing or who she is or where she comes from. We need to use this tool. If we call ourselves influencers, if we call ourselves coaches and speakers, we have to go the extra mile and be daring. I heard my sister Samira, and she has done this so many times. And I know you do that on your different levels, but let's do it consciously now, since we know the map. Let's do it consciously and let's get together. I have one final line. If I'm ending, then give me the final line. I will say it now because I just have good news for everyone. Before I go to the question and answer, I have good news, by the way. We are moving to our new house next month. This is our new house, and Fatima will have her room. So back to you, Claire.
Mohamed, that was fabulous. And health and happiness for you and all of your family. Mabruk. Enjoy the new home. So Mohamed, that was it was a moving, it was a passionate, it was a detailed presentation. And what's great is you practice what you share. And one thing that I'm really curious about is in relation to equality, diversity and inclusion. When we share our stories, it enables us to empathize and understand others' perspectives. What ways do you experience other people telling stories? And what I'm getting at here is, are you tempted as a speaker coach to almost like stop people and say, hey, you could have told that even better? How do you handle that?
Yeah. I recall once I was in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, Eastern Province, and someone said, I am going into a competition and I want you to watch my speech. So when he delivered the speech in the club, I was not happy. And we went to the next cafe next door to give him my feedback. I told him, really? Really? Is that what all happened? come on, let it out, let it out. I know that's not all. He said, well, there's a tiny bit, which is not important. I said, tell me. He actually removed the impact part and how he felt about his mother covering him with the blanket. He didn't mention that. And he went into tears while we were having coffee. And I said, see, this is the part you are omitting. And I know it must be there. People do not transform just like that. People do not go through an incident and they are a new person the next minute. No, there must be something in between. So I tell them, if you want to succeed as a speaker, you have to pay the price. And the price is to open your heart. And according to my coach, stand naked beneath God. So I tell them that.
So there's an element of vulnerability there. Brilliant. Anyone, any questions for Mohamed? Put them in the chat box or take yourself off mute. What got you into speaking? Well, I know that you've spoken probably since, since you were 1 year old. What got you into really speaking?
The date, I know the date almost, and I was a teen, and the first time someone said, we need an MC in the charity, whatever occasion, I forgot. I said, me. And I said, what is an MC? I don't know what's an MC, but yes, me. And it's me, always saying yes, yes. And I teach everyone now, just say yes to any opportunity you have if you want to become a speaker, because you need stage time. But the more important thing is that the person who taught me at the very first day what is an MC, I told him, what shall I say? I don't know what to say to the audience. He just gave me one line, and I applied that line blindly until today, not knowing that it will make the biggest impact. And he said, speak from your heart. Now, you'd say this to a student, to a 17-year-old student, and he has a different way of grasping it, maybe a pure way of grasping it. Now we tell each other, speak from the heart. You know, we have all these complex models come to us and concepts and, you know, meditation thing. With all due respect, just to speak from the heart. That time I didn't have any screen or any filter. I just spoke from the heart. And later on, according to the model, when I experienced it, then I came to learn what is speaking from the heart. Then it became a concept, a boring, anyway. So it's the how, it's not the when, it's really the how.
So there's another question there in the chat box, and then we'll go to one of the other people in the audience. So what makes an outstanding speaker to stand out from the average one? And this is from Samira. And also, what is the biggest speaker mistake?
All right, so so what I just shared with you today is part of my masterclass, the top 10 speakers. Sorry, the top 10 secrets to speak from the bottom of your heart. Top 10 secrets to speak from the bottom of your hearts. And Samira, I have to say this to everyone, you know, Sir Ken Robinson, the late Sir Ken Robinson, which I highly revere. I miss him a lot. And he said, art is something that you do, but you don't know how you're doing it. And Alan Watts, the great philosopher, said, every creative person, and by the way, every person is creative, you know that as coaches. So every creative person, they do things creatively in their own way, but when you ask them to turn this into a studied material, they cannot. It's impossible. Alan Watts said, it is your art, your creativity, and now you want to teach it, you want to school it. It's very difficult, almost impossible to turn this into mental theories and models, etc. So it's very difficult. So when I went out with the model, what makes an outstanding speaker, I said all these things, and they were almost taboos, actually. And after some time, people were just like that. We want you to teach us public speaking per se. Why all this philosophy behind it? And I was, oh my God, maybe I am wrong. So I made a special program only for the few. And now I'm giving specific doses like this one. So thank you for this opportunity. But I must say that there is the person People ignore this. They want the skill, they want the what to do, they want the art, but they do not question the person, the character, who he is. And it's clearly pathos, ethos, and logos already there, but we tend to ignore the person. So the person and how he actually perceives himself is important. So when I coach people for public speaking, first of all, I coach them, because I'm a certified coach also, I coach them first, who are you? The values, principles, life purpose, things like that. And then we can talk about your business and your speaking. And that made all the difference with my students. So I take them through all this. So there are mistakes and there are sins. The one part of the secrets, there are sins that we commit with the audience and with our speaking. So let's not confuse everyone now, but use the model that I gave you at least, and you will prevail a lot.
I think this is also so important for any leader. I mean, we're all leaders. We're leaders ourselves, our families, our communities, our career. But for any leader in the boardroom, to be able to get their compelling message across to others, all of these tips are fabulous for that. And I believe Iman Shawan may have a question for us. I can see a raised hand there. Hi, Iman.
Hi, Claire. How are you? My question to Mr. Mohamed. Yeah. My question to Mr. Mohamed. I'm a Coach Me student and I'm a president of Bahrain Toastmaster Club. My question is, it's not easy for me to find every week to find a subject or to a presidential address. So what do you have an advice or any kind of things? I'm president since January, so almost 10 months now. So the subject is almost everything. I said everything. So what's your advice to help me on this?
Okay. Thank you, Iman. And I know it's a struggle when you are a president of a club in Toastmasters and it's a weekly club, then you have to give an address 5 minutes every week, and you want to find subjects and stories. So when I delivered the Life in Your Speech model in its fullest scale in Canada in the international convention, when I finished, and the lady came to me, she was quite old and a Toastmaster, by the way, and she came to me, she said, before you speak today, I had 0 stories to share. I stopped actually speaking in my Toastmaster club because I'm out of stories. I ran out of stories. But today, after you delivered your Life in Your Speech, I have too many of them. I don't know what to do with them. So, Iman, here's the thing. Actually, if you use the model again, and when I go into training mode with the model, I extract your stories out of you, and you will find myriads of them. If you use the XP word, XP, experience, there is no point in your life, just bear this in mind, and everyone else, there is no point, no second, no minute in your life that goes by that you are not living an experience. I am now in an experience. I delivered a session, that's one experience. The listener is going through an experience. Dr. Claire, you, internal, external experience. Now I'm in a QA. After a few minutes, I'll have my breakfast. That's an experience. If you stop experiencing, you stop living. You got that? So now, which experience to pick and make it a story? Because you cannot say, I was having breakfast. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening to me. Of course, that's not an experience to share. So use the model again, Iman. If an experience has an impact, watch your feelings. If an experience has an impact, it is a candidate for a story. Period. Now, aren't you sitting in a meeting sometimes, Iman, and you watch something happening and you are, what is this? What's happening here? And you say to Fatima, did you see this? Fatima, did you see this? What? No, do you see what they did? No, it was normal, Iman. Take it easy, it was normal. Now, Fatima had the experience, but 0 impact. Iman went to the experience but had an impact. That means it has a message for you and not for Fatima. So some experiences happen to all and impact some. If you are one of those some, then take it all the way to the message and see, because life is leaking to you a message, not to Fatima or anyone else. Life wants you to learn something. So if you learn something, why are you keeping quiet about it? That's all from my side.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any last question before we say our thanks to Mohamed and move to the break?
Claire, I'd like to thank Mohamed for because a story that Mohamed shared when I was in Bahrain. Mohamed, I heard Mohamed tell the story of Imam Hussein, and because of Mohammed's storytelling of Imam Hussein, I've come to understand the person, and I thank you, Mohamed, for that.
And I want to thank you, Jose, for one thing. You know, my coach who taught me the speaking from the heart, actually, who brought my attention to this model is Nomel Helengos from Manila, Philippines. I miss him. He was in Bahrain. And he joins us in our speaking conferences. But look at this. I'm a Muslim, he's a Christian, and he taught me from the Bible. I taught him something from the Quran, and he taught me that line in the Bible which says, speak for those who can't speak for themselves. You know this very well. And it made all the difference for me. I added it to my master class. And look how barriers fell because of storytelling, Jose. Because of storytelling, detailed how close we came together. And I know you went through a few typhoons lately, he told me yesterday, right?
Yes.
I am happy that you're safe and everyone is safe. So thank you very much. And Jose, let's keep in touch through LinkedIn and elsewhere. And I know that I just want to add one last line. There are people who have, causes. They want to serve the community. They are businessmen, but they refuse to tell their stories. If you don't tell your stories, you run the risk of people not buying into what you are up to. You tell your story, then you can ask people to join, because people join who, not join what. They join the who. Like Simon Sinek said, the why, but it's really about who and why is he doing this. Then they will buy into this. Thank you very much. Sorry to take so much time of you. Thank you.
Mohamed, that was amazing. We're all leaving ready to go practice all these fabulous tips that you've given us. Really appreciate it. Have a fabulous rest of the day, Mohamed. Shukran jazilan. So